If you run a done-for-you service-based business and you don't have a done-with-you coaching or consulting model, you could be leaving literally hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars on the table every single year for your competitors to scoop right up. So in this video, I'm going to show you exactly how to not only launch a done-with-you model. I'm going to show you the differences between the done-for-you, the done-with-you, how to launch, how to structure it, and how to start selling it today. So anyways, guys, I got a lot of stuff prepared here for you, as you can see, and let's get straight into it. So the first place to start between done-for-you and done-with-you is understanding the core differences, right? So it's really important to understand that, like, at the end of the day, whether you're selling a done-for-you service or a done-with-you service, the only thing that's different is that it's just a different delivery vehicle, right? So what the prospect is actually buying at the end of the day, well, they're actually buying the transformation. They're not buying a done-for-you, they're not buying a done-with-you service, they're buying their desired outcome. Right now, they're in their current situation. Maybe they're stuck at like 10 grand a month with their agency and they want to hit 100 grand a month, but they're stuck and they don't really know how. And we'll go into the scalability and all of that in a minute here. But they want to get to their desired situation, but they don't know how and they need help and they can't do it on their own. And that's why they're coming to you, right? So whether you do it all for them or you show them how to do it, it really doesn't matter as long as they can get their desired outcome within a given amount of time for the right price. So anyways, guys, it's really important to understand that, like, they really are just there to get their outcome and the transformation that they want, and they don't really care how you help them get there, right? And we'll go into the specifics around this. But anyways, moving on, like how to choose which one best suits you. So the first place to start always with your offer is, what does the market want, right? So I know there's a lot of business owners and entrepreneurs out there, and the reason why they struggle is because they take what they think the market wants and then they try and shove it down the market's throat, and they're like, hey, I have this thing, buy it. And they're like, no, we don't want this, right? And I was listening to a Dan Kennedy podcast this morning, and he used the example of a brick wagon. So let's say you got a wagon full of red bricks, and now you got your bricks in this wagon. You're just riding around trying to find somebody to sell these bricks to, right? You're gonna have a pretty hard time selling these bricks. Instead, you want to find the person. You want to go to the market, find the person that actually needs the bricks, and then make the bricks and sell it to them, right? Your life will be much easier. So anyways, that said, some markets respond differently than others. Pretty much all markets respond a little bit differently than the next one. So that said, figure out if it actually makes logical sense by asking the market, hey, if I put this thing together, would this be of interest to you? If I could show you how to do everything and you never had to worry about anything ever again, in terms of monthly payments and stuff like that, then like, would this be of interest to you, and would you actually want to apply and stuff like that, right? So next thing is your business, your preferences. So one of our clients inside the Consulting Blueprint, he joined us and he had just started his agency, and he was doing about, like, let's say 5 to 10 grand a month at the time, and this was last summer. And we helped him build out a consulting offer. Within the first week, he launched it, and he did $12,000 in his first 7 days, right? So that's awesome. We're like, okay, cool. We helped him like pretty much double his income in a week. But then he was like, you know what? I don't really like the consulting model. I just want to have this team that I manage, and like they just do the work and they show up and clients get results and it's all done for you and life is good. Money's coming in every month, right? So anyways, we helped him build out the consulting offer, make a ton of money, and his clients were actually getting good results in it as well. But he specifically just personally didn't prefer that model, and that's okay, right? But now he's doing 50 grand a month every single month with the agency, so he's doing pretty well. So I'm not saying like every single time done with you is better, but the vast majority of the time it honestly is. So anyways, a question I get a lot of the time from people I speak with on the phone, whether it's on sales calls or clients and stuff like that, they say like, well, isn't done for you better because you get the monthly recurring income? Like, isn't done with you riskier because like once you get it paid up front, then like you don't have any more payments, right? It's just a one-time payment instead of a monthly retainer. Well, let me ask you this, like, what's the average like lifetime value of an agency client. Most agencies today absolutely suck and can't keep their clients because they can't get good results. They promise the world and like they overpromise and underdeliver, right? So chances are like they probably don't keep their clients for more than 3 months. So let's say you're charging like $2,000 a month for 3 months, they pay you $6,000. Well, that's your lifetime value for the customer, right? And then they're gone because they don't want to stay with you, right? Some clients will probably leave you like in the first month, even though they signed a 3-month contract, if you lock them into that. So anyways, the agency model is just kind of in a weird scenario right now. But anyways, like, for example, let's say just going off that, right? You make $6,000 per customer that you sign over the course of 3 months. Well, what if you just show them, you consult them, spend an hour a week just like going over their stuff, and you just you charge $6,000 up front. You're making the same amount of money, but cash in hand, cash collected in the bank, and you don't have to worry about retention. The delivery is going to be a lot smoother, a lot more scalable as well, and your life is going to be a lot easier, so you can spend more time actually booking more sales calls, taking more sales calls, closing more clients, and making more money. So at the end of the day, no, it's not riskier because most people suck at the done-for-you model. Moving on, scalability. So here's one thing I found after I scaled my agency and had a bunch of clients. I think I had like 7 or 8 clients at the time, and I felt that like there was just a lot of moving pieces, right? I had to talk with the clients, and I had to talk with my media buyer, and then I had to like build up funnels, do all the copy, ads, and like I'm in the client ad account every single day, seeing like, okay, well, what ads are working, what ads are not, and how can we improve it, coming up with new ads every single day. And it was just an absolute headache, an absolute nightmare. So on my side, I experienced capacity limits, right? I kind of hit the capacity of how many clients I could take, how many clients I could actually manage and get them good results before having to like build out the team and have introduce even more moving pieces and more complexity in the system. And one of the principles I follow is like simplicity scales and complexity fails. So when you have too many moving pieces, too many complex parts, then it's easy for a wrench to get thrown in the gears and the whole system shuts down. So anyways, that kind of takes me to the next point, like the dilemma of balancing revenue versus results, right? Because as a business owner, we want to make money. However, the only way we're going to make money is by getting clients good results, right? So that's like, okay, well, how many clients do we want to sign? Like, chances are we probably want to work with as many clients as we can, right? However, we also want to make sure that the clients that we do sign, we're not just taking their money and kicking them to the curb and then blaming them when they don't get results. What we're doing, like, we want the way we get more clients in the future is by getting our current clients incredible, mind-blowing results that we can leverage as case studies and plug it back into our marketing to sign more clients and really just compound it and grow over time. So with the agency model, there's kind of that dilemma, right? It's like, well, I could sign a bunch more clients, but then you run into the capacity limits and you can only serve a certain amount of them. So then you're kind of capped at your growth, right? Otherwise, you could sign a bunch of clients, but then you just kind of under-deliver for all of them and then they leave you. Whereas with the done with you model, there's much better ways to do it through leverage. And we'll get into that in a minute. But anyways, how to transition from done for you to done with you, right? Get into the meat and potatoes of it. Well, first of all, I see a lot of people go straight to done with you and they want to serve a market, they want to solve a problem that they've never solved before and they don't know how. They don't know where to start. And then they wonder why nobody wants to trust them with their money and trust them with the result when they've never done the thing before, right? So you need a proof of concept. You need to have solved this problem before or have somebody, like find somebody who has solved this problem to help solve that for your clients as well. Maybe you partner up with someone who's actually done the thing. So some of the most common ways to do that is like a lot of people start with done for you, right? For example, for me with my agency, I did it for clients. And as a result, I built like this mechanism, I built this system to consistently get client results, right? So then I could implement that into a consulting model, a done with you, and say, hey, rather than doing all this for you, I'll just show you how to do it, right? And then another option is do it yourself, right? So this is like, instead of do it yourself, I know it could be a little confusion there with like course model and stuff like that, but essentially do it yourself means like I built my agency, I scaled my agency, and now I can teach other agency owners how to start and scale their agencies because I have done it myself and I've been in the trenches, I've done the work, and I know what it takes. I know exactly what you need to do to sign more clients and really scale things up, right? So this is, I've done it for myself, and this is, I've done it for somebody else. Therefore, now I can teach this repeatable system that I know delivers a transformation and I know gets clients results. So first place to start is give your clients a very clear blueprint or a roadmap with results-based action items. So what this means in English is you want them to understand exactly where they're at right now in their business journey, exactly what the next step is, and how to actually get there doing action steps on the day-to-day, right? So you can break that down. So for example, the first place to start would be like with your offer, right? How to structure it, how to package it all up, how to position it. And then once you're good to go with the offer and like the market wants it and you've gone through all the research and stuff like that, then it's time to actually take it to the market, start marketing, right? Show them exactly how to start marketing, where to find their audience, how to start booking calls with them, and then of course how to close them once they're actually filling out the calendars, right? You want to map out the entire process very clearly for them, so that way they know exactly what to do. And for example, like one of our clients inside CB, Brett, he started from scratch, right? He's a real estate investment coach. So anyways, he had done this thing for himself, right? He bought a rental property and turned it into an Airbnb and was making like $1,000 a month profit, like cash in his pocket every single month. And the returns on that were insane. So he'd done that for himself, and then he came to us to say, hey, how can I help other people do that? So we helped him build out a consulting offer, leveraging the expertise that he developed from doing it himself, package it all up into the system, structure it all, and then sell it. And he did $30,000 cash collected in his first 30 days. Cash collected profit, I should say, not revenue. Revenue is somewhere in like the 50 to 60K mark, but profit that he's going to be taking home was 30K in the first 30 days. And that's because he had a very clear blueprint and roadmap to follow. So one of the most important things too is like once you get your clients, like the second they pay you, like they're instantly going to start like, they're going to be like, huh, what did I just buy? And like, was that a good decision? You need to reinforce their decision by giving them that clear roadmap with a way for them to pick low-hanging fruit. Our goal here is to get them their return on investment ASAP, right? So that said, I mean, like Brett did 30K in the first 30 days. One of our other clients, Connor, he did like 9K in his first week after 4 months of trying to start his coaching business, get off the ground, and did 3K total in 4 months. He did 9K in his first week, right? So giving a very clear blueprint to follow that shows them exactly how to pick that low-hanging fruit, so that way they can get the return on their investment as soon as possible. So that way you really just reaffirm their purchase that they just made, and now they're going to be absolutely over the moon and sending you case study, like sending you testimonials. You can use them as a case study, stuff like that. What this also does is it kind of acts like a trail of breadcrumbs, right? So what this means is that like you help them get their first win, and now they're like, huh, this actually works. Now they're going to be more likely to actually do what you say next and actually continue to follow the process because they've done one action and now they've gotten a result. So like, okay, now I just need to do more of this and do more of what this person tells me to do because it works. So now they're going to get even better results. It's just going to compound. You're going to get better case studies, better client results. Everyone's going to be happy. They're going to get an insane return on their investment with you, and they're going to be more likely to actually do the actions and follow through, right? So the more results you get, the more case studies you get, or the better case studies you get, which means you leverage those, throw them back in your marketing, and get more clients. So how to actually build out the blueprint, right? How do we build that blueprint and that roadmap to follow? Well, starts with getting time under the bar. I know Alex Hormozy says that. He's like, you know what? Like, if you want to do something, like you need to actually understand. You need to actually put in the work to understand what that process is like, right? So one way to do that is by actually doing it for somebody else or doing it for yourself, right? because I had put in the time and I learned the skills and the lessons and invested a ton of money to grow my agency, I put time under the bar to get experience and actually like get in the trenches and know what it takes to succeed. So time under the bar is like, if you want to get stronger at bench press, you need to get under the bench press bar and spend some time there, right? That's the only way you're going to get better. So another really good way to do it is like make it a visual, right? Have a lot of people are visual learners. So if you have a clear like blueprint or roadmap like mapped out with the exact steps, they can self-identify where they are at in the process, what the next step is, and exactly how to actually get there, then that's going to make it so much easier for them to follow. They're not going to get lost, and everything's going to be good. Next one, 80-20 it, right? So the 80-20 rule. Figure out the 20% of the action items that they need to do to get the 80% of the results, right? What are the most powerful, the most effective, the most productive, the most leverageable actions that they can take at each step to get the highest return on those actions, right? You don't want to tell them to like, oh, you have to do all of this stuff to get this result, because that's just going to add so much complexity into the mix. It's going to really slow things down for them, and they're probably not going to do all that stuff anyways, right? You really want to boil it down to like a few core things that they need to focus on, and then like get rid of the rest. Keep the main things the main thing, and then like literally just eliminate the rest of it, because it does not matter. It will slow them down, right? So that said, once you identify like the 20% of the things that get 80% of the results, here's how to make it hard for them to actually fail, right? You want to make it as hard as possible for your clients to not get results, because they paid you to get results, so you better help them get results, right? So you want to give them clear action steps. We kind of covered that in the results-based action items. Clear KPIs to shoot for, right? Say, okay, here's the average closing rates for your sales calls, right? This is what you should be shooting up for, and here's how to actually get to that rate, right? Here's how to here's how many prospecting messages you need to send out. Here's how many new people you need to talk to every day, right? Based on how many people you talk to, here's a number that you should shoot for how many calls or how many links you actually send. Here's how many people on average actually booking a call from those links, right? Here's how many people actually show up to the call, and here's how many people that show up to the call should actually close. And you just kind of break it down so they actually have like a goal to strive for, something to work towards, and you show them actually how to strive and actually improve their skills to hit those KPIs as well, right? So yeah, I just kind of broke that down a little bit here too, right? Offer, show them exactly how to price it based on value, exactly how to set up their delivery mechanism to actually get their clients good results, how to position themselves as well, right? You want to have clear frameworks for that, so that way like your clients, you and your clients, I guess, don't blend in with the crowd. They're not seen as a commodity. They're forced to compete on price. You want to show them how to stand out from the crowd, and that's exactly what we do straight out the gate on our initial one-on-one onboarding calls, because it's so important, especially in really commoditized industries. Anyways, marketing, yeah, how many calls you should be booking per day? Well, based on how many calls you want, how many calls do you need to actually book, and how do you book that many calls, and break it all the way down. I made another video on this called I think it's called like how to grow your coaching business, and then it's the one about daily 20 miles. So you can go to my profile and watch that one after, but I show you exactly how to break those numbers down. But anyways, sales, right? Here's the closing rate you should be shooting for, 30 to 40%. And if you're below that, then here's how to fix that, right? But anyways, in terms of the model itself, like the typical evolution of the consulting model kind of looks like this, and then I'll show you when to evolve. Essentially, when to move to the next stage is when you kind of hit the capacity at the current stage that you're at. So done for you or do it yourself, right? So you start out by actually doing the thing for somebody else or doing the thing for you. So that way you actually spend time under the bar and you get that proof of concept. You build a system that works, right? And then from there, you're like, okay, cool, I got it. Then you can start doing one-to-one, right? Done with you one-to-one. Then instead of doing it for somebody, you say, hey, let me show you how to do this. And then from there, you can throw them into a group program, right? So a lot of people have this, right? A low ticket offer, somewhere from like 3 to 10K, and then a high ticket offer like 25 to 50K. And for example, one of our clients, Arturo, he was doing I think about 200 grand a month with his low ticket offer, like a 5-10K program, and he came to us to help him build out a high ticket mastermind done with you group, and we helped him package it all up and launch it, and he did 120 grand in the first 7 days. So that said, it's 30 grand, so he signed 4 clients at that, and 120 grand for just 4 clients. It's very leveraged, and it's very, very scalable. Imagine if you were doing all of the things for those 4 clients, it would take you almost all of your time. Whereas this, it's like very minimal as well. And then finally, do it yourself. I don't really like this one. It's just like an online course. It's really cheap. It's not very desirable because the done with you, the support, the coaching is honestly invaluable, because it's one thing to understand, like to like learn the textbook knowledge and stuff like that, right? Just through a course. But it's a whole nother ball game actually applying that, implementing it to get the results that you want, right? I've taken so many courses before to get the results because I didn't really know how to do it. There's no accountability and stuff like that. So that's where the coaching really comes into play. And that's why pretty much every single professional athlete, even non-professionals, they invest in coaches, because they just get somebody who's done what they want to do to show them exactly what they need to do and how to fix what they're not doing right. So a good way to do this, especially like the done with you, like the one-to-one or the group model, is have a bit of a beta group, right? A test group, and just like, all right, spend as much time as you can with them, help them get the best results possible while you're testing out this new thing. And if they get results, if it's yes, then scale through leverage to the next stage, right? So if you do that, like, hey, if you like get a client and say, hey, let me do this thing for you, and then if you get results, cool. Now scale through leverage to the next stage. Now you can get a client, say, hey, let me teach you how to do this, cool. And then now you get a few more clients, and then you kind of put them all in a group model, right? And you can introduce some one-to-ones and stuff like that as per request, whatever. But anyways, moving forward, I want to talk about a little bit about like the relationship dynamics with you and your clients from the done for you model compared to the done with you model. So the done for you is very much so like us versus you. It's like me versus the client. They're like, I pay you money, get me this result, which is totally fair, right? However, it's not very like, if 1 month you come up short or 1 week you come up short, like the relationship's done, right? The only reason they're there is to like get the transformation. If you're falling up short at all, you're gone, which is totally good, right? That's how business should be. But honestly, like it's very like you're kind of butting heads, right? You're kind of going at each other's throat a little bit, and there's a lot of tension. However, with the done with you model, it's like us versus the problem you're trying to solve. It's like, hey, I'm in your corner. I'm here to help you, right? And it's like, let's work together. Let's solve this problem that you have, and I'll show you how to do it. I'll help you to do it, and I'll show you exactly what to do. And honestly, your clients just respect you a lot more, and it's just a much better model. And for any like agency owners or done for you service providers here, like you probably understand what I'm talking about. Expectation, super important, right? Expectation setting. You really just want to make sure, hey, okay, this is like, okay, here's how it's going to go. Here's what you can expect in terms of the results. Here's when you can expect them, stuff like that. Whereas the done with you is like, okay, like here's like, we're going to show you exactly everything you need to do. The only way to fail is if you don't come for help, you don't actually take action and apply the things that we tell you to do, right? The burden of responsibility, of course, it shifts from you to more so the client, assuming you actually have a good system, right? Assuming your system works, you got proof of concept, you've gotten results. If somebody's gotten results with your thing and it's happened more than once and it's happened a few times and you have a good system, then if they don't get results, then it's probably the client because they're not doing the thing or they're not following the process, right? So yeah, anyways, client results are the main thing, right? Which takes me into the next section. So which vehicle gets better results? Right? So the done for you model, that vehicle, I mean, you could probably get better results if you're doing it yourself. However, because you're going to be so capped out at that with that capacity, like if you could probably only work with a handful of clients, get them some good results, but then your business isn't going to grow, right? And then you're going to start to get resentful and stuff like that because you want to grow but you can't, and you feel like your clients are limiting you that. So the done with you model, right? If you switch, really just leverage it, then you can actually get your clients better results because they know their specific businesses way better than you could ever, right? They're the ones that have put the time under the bar for their specific industry. They're the experts in helping their clients. So they're going to be much better suited to actually implement the thing and get the results for their clients than you would be doing it for them. Of course, there might be some exceptions there based on specifics, but we don't need to get into that. Which benefits the client best in the long run? I'll kind of get into this a little bit more down in the sales section when I teach you guys exactly like how to sell it, which is coming up next. But essentially, like let's take like an agency model, right? So like the client pays you money every single month, you do the thing, and then like they have a problem, they see you as a potential vehicle to solve that problem, and then they pay you every single month. Let's say you don't solve the problem for them. Well, now there's like, then they fire you or you fire them. Now they're stuck in the same spot again with the same problem, right? And now they just need to pay somebody else to do it and keep paying people until they find someone who can actually do it. Whereas with the done with you, like you show them your proven system, you show them how to do it and how to use it themselves, and then now they never have to pay an agency again, right? So it could actually benefit them big time in the long run. And then because they're the domain experts in their specific audience, in their specific market, they can take the model you give them and tweak it and get better results, right? That's exactly what I did. I went through a program. They were teaching like Facebook stuff. I was like, okay, well, my clients are on LinkedIn, so how can I take this model, apply it to LinkedIn? I did that, got results, and then all of my clients came inbound from LinkedIn. So anyways, yeah, your main focus with your offer like should be your client success rate, right? You want to make it as hard as you can to fail. We already touched on this. But the better your clients succeed, the more frequently, the more often they succeed, like it actually ties into every other component of your business, right? Typically everything kind of falls under these three buckets, like offer, marketing, sales, right? Your offer is like client results, the actual delivery mechanism, positioning, stuff like that, how to structure it all up, pricing, you know the drill. And then marketing is actually like booking sales calls. Sales is like closing sales calls, right? So the more results your clients get, the better your offer is, the more clients succeed, which means the more case studies you can leverage in your marketing, which means the more calls you're going to book as a result of your marketing, because you're going to build a ton of authority in your industry. The more they see you as the authority and the more people you speak with, the more sales you're going to make, and it just feeds back into itself and compounds and spirals out of control. But anyways, now that we understand like kind of the differences between done for you, done with you, right? The scalability, how to actually transition, how to actually build out your system, get proof of concept, put it all together and deliver it. Let's get into actually how to sell it. So this could be a video entirely on its own because this is kind of my bread and butter. But anyways, let's get into it. So first place to start, the golden rule of sales. They don't care what you do. They only care what you can do for them. They're only there to figure out, can you help me get to my desired outcome, right? So that's the principle that I follow. They don't care what you do. They only care what you can do for them. They don't care about the program, the modules, the like whatever the hell. All they care is like, okay, cool. Can you help me achieve my desired outcome? Like, for example, like I was on a one-to-one with one of our higher level mastermind clients earlier this week, a couple days ago, and he was like, dude, like I'm helping him like master high ticket sales. He's actually made a few this week at 5 and 10K. And anyways, he was like, he told me, he's like, man, like when I got off the call with you guys and I paid you guys like the 25 grand for the mastermind, he's like, I was thinking afterwards, I'm like, I don't really know what I bought. Like, what does that entail? Like, what are the details? What are the technicals, right? That's because people buy on emotion and they justify that with logic, right? The reason he bought is because we tapped into the emotional side of things because we're like, yo, we can help you solve your problem. And then he's like, awesome, okay, cool, let's do it. And then as the experts of solving that problem, we're like, then afterwards, we're like, okay, cool. Here's the logical steps. Here's how to actually solve the problem, right? And then we walk them through the actual process. But if you try and sell the logical side of things, you're gonna have a really tough time and a really low closing rate. So anyways, he was like, I want to instill that feeling with my clients. So I helped him with his sales process just literally in one call. And then his next 2 clients, he signed both of them back to back, paid in fulls at I think 5 and then maybe one for 10K, or maybe they're both 5K. So he made 10 grand this week just because of that one little mindset shift that I helped him make. So anyways, the vehicle itself doesn't really matter. All they care about is the outcome, right? And I'll make another video on that about kind of selling the vacation, not the plane ride, because that's so important. But anyways, another question I get frequently from people who have like the done for you service and then they build out a consulting or a done with you offer. They're like, well, how do I know which one to actually pitch the prospect on the sales call, right? Honestly, that is up to you. That's your judgment. That is up to you and your intuition to make. What do you feel is the best? Like, first of all, if you don't want to do done for you, never pitch done for you, right? Then just pitch done with you and just have the one option, right? But what you could do is like, you can honestly just ask them, right? Okay, cool. Would you rather have somebody just like do all this for you, or would you rather have somebody just like show you how to do it yourself? So that way you don't have to pay anybody ever again to do that, right? And I'll get into that in a second here too, with the downsell versus the upsell. When you get into that, if you do pitch one and then they don't like it, then you can always up or downsell the other. But anyways, yeah, like that's your judgment call, right? I would say the less options you give, the less, like there's this thing called the paradox of choice. The more options you give somebody, the more it confuses them. Now they have to say yes or no to a few different things rather than just like one. So it reduces the chances of them saying yes. But anyways, I'll cover this right now actually, the downsell and upsell, and then we'll go into throwing rocks at the others. So for example, like let's say you start with the done with you. Like let's say you have both options. Let's say you start with done with you, say, hey, I'll teach you how to do all of this for 5 grand, right? Over the next like, I don't know, 3 months. And then they say, oh, well, I don't really have the cash, or like, I don't have the time. I just kind of want someone to, yeah, not the cash. They're like, I don't want the time, or I don't have the time to like actually do this all myself. And like, I don't want to hire a team or somebody else to do it. Like, I just want somebody to just do this all for me, right? Can I just pay you money? You just do it for me. That way it's like done right and I don't have to worry about it. Then you'd be like, oh, okay, well, my mistake. I thought like I just assumed it would be like more convenient to just, I thought this would be a better option for you, right? Yeah, we can totally do it for you. However, it's going to be like 3 grand a month for the next like 6 months. So now they're committed to a lot more than just like the 5 grand one time. So now you're really like creating a separation of like the price and the value and stuff like that, right? And it's not just like the sale's not dead. Or on the flip side, right, 3 grand a month to do this for you, and they're like, oh, I don't really have the cash. Cool. Well, we could actually just teach you how to do it all yourself. Like if you don't have the cash flow to shovel out like 3 grand a month, like we could just teach you how to do it for like one time 5K and then go from there, right? And I'll wrap this all up together on my last point here in a minute. So bear with me for another minute or so. I'll cover this and then we'll get straight into this too. And you'll see how it all kind of comes together to know exactly how to actually pitch this on a sales call, like word for word, exactly what I've done to sell literally hundreds of thousands of dollars of consulting. So anyways, Getting back here, throw rocks at the other model, right? If you're doing done with you and like, if you're doing done with you, throw rocks at the done for you model, right? Because chances are, like, a lot of people, a lot of prospects have worked with done for you, like agencies and stuff before, and they've been burned, right? So for example, like, that's a huge pain point. They're like, oh, like, I've already worked with 3 guys and they haven't gotten the results, right? They overpromised, underdelivered. And then you can throw rocks at that, be like, yeah, I know, like, that frustrates me too, because it's really hard for me and other people in my industry who are actually like good at what we do and care about our clients to actually stand out. So that's why I'll just teach you exactly how to do it yourself. So that way you never have to worry about like trying to find like the right agency again, right? Um, so that's an example of how to like use that to your advantage, right? Throw rocks at the agency model. Be like, yeah, that's why this consulting model is a million times better. Then you can kind of throw rocks at the other one for the price, right? Be like, well, yeah, I mean, if you wanted to just pay somebody to do all this for you, like let's say your price is 5K, if you want, and then they give you like an objection or something like that, then you could say, well, if you were to just get somebody else to like do it all for you, like you're not going to get this for anything cheaper than like 2 or 3K a month. And now, like, let's say you do that, you work with somebody for 12 months, 2K a month. Well, there's 24 grand, right? Whereas, like, we can offer you the exact same thing. We'll just show you exactly how to do it for 1/5 of the price, just 5 grand one time up front, and that's it, right? So you kind of like compare or contrast it to other alternatives, their other options, including like just not doing it themselves, which kind of takes me to the opportunity cost in a sec. But like, if you compare it to other alternatives to make their other options seem like brutally expensive, then it makes yours seem a lot more affordable and a lot more valuable, right? They're like, oh, okay, I'm getting 24K worth of value for just 5K compared to other options. Opportunity cost. This is a huge one too, right? So let's say they have a problem and they're like, hey, like I'm at $0 a month right now and I want to get to 10K a month, right? They could probably figure that out. It'll probably take them like, I don't know, let's say like 12 months to get there on their own, to like learn the lessons, like figure out how to actually book calls, figure out how to sell, like all this stuff, right? So let's say it takes them 12 months to get to 10K a month. Whereas if they hop in with you, you could help them go from 0 to 10K a month in the first 30 days. Now there's this gap, right? It takes them 1 month with you for 5K up front. 30 days later, they're making 10K a month, right? So like kind of 2 weeks in, they made their money back and then it's just profit. But now there's an entire 11 months in between their first 10K month and then month 12, which would be their first 10K month if they did it on their own. There's an entire 11 months of them doing 10K a month and probably growing and scaling from there. But let's just say they hit 10K and they just stay flat. Well, there's 10K times 11 months. There's $110,000 in opportunity cost that they're missing out on and leaving on the table if they let their ego and their pride get in the way and not get the help that they know they need, right? So that could be a huge one. And a lot of people don't really use that to their advantage. And I can make a whole nother video on that on itself, every single one of these points, and I will. So anyways, long-term cost too, right? Like, okay, well, like, if you don't solve this problem, how much is it going to cost you in the long term, right? If you never get to 10K months, well, what's the alternative? How much is this going to cost you if you don't solve the problem, right? And then, yeah, kind of from there, like long-term client success. I'll talk about that over here. So, second last thing is the risk, right? See it from the buyer's eyes, right? Like, what would, in their eyes, like, what's their best option? And then what would they be most favored? What would be most favorable for them, right? What would they want? What would be their perfect world option? And see how you can tweak your offer to give that exactly to them as well, right? So that'll prevent a lot of objections as well. But anyways, what we've all been waiting for: how to actually present the offer properly on a sales call. right? I'll show you an example of how I did. So I started with a done for you agency for mortgage brokers, do lead gen, and then I did done with you. Say, hey, let me just show you guys how to use the system and run it yourself so you don't have to pay me whatever. So anyways, that's kind of some context. How I would say it is like, yeah, so I actually used to do like done for you. I used to do all this stuff for my clients. And as a result, I dialed in this system and it just gets like X amount of results every single month, right? It helps you close anywhere from 2 to 5 deals at 5K commission each, right? So an extra 10 to 25 grand every single month in as a result. However, I want to serve as many people as I can, and I kind of hit my capacity. I could only work with so many clients, having to manage everything myself and with my team. So now what I do is I consult, right? I'll show you how to implement the system. I'll show you how to do literally everything that I was doing before. So that way you never have to pay an agency every single month ever again. And you know exactly how to generate literally as many more customers or clients that you could want. With the literally click of a button, you can just turn it on and off for the rest of your business career. And then you just let them sit in that, right? So I'll show you exactly how to get the system up and running so you're closing 2 to 5 new deals every single month for the rest of your business career, and you never have to pay anybody else ever to do this for you for the rest of your business career. So you're really positioning as a win-win. Say, hey, this is actually way better than this, right? So anyways, guys, hope you enjoyed this video. We covered a lot of ground here today. This is one of the most common things we help done for you business owners do inside the consultant blueprint, is help them build out a coaching or consulting offer and scale it to the moon. I think we've helped about 9 clients, 9 or 10 businesses blow past the 100K a month mark at this point. And if you, and with Arturo, it took him 7 days to do that. So anyways, if you guys are an agency owner, if you're a done for you service provider and you're wanting to get into consulting, wanting to get into coaching, booking a call down below in the description. There will be a link to my calendar. Let's set up a call. Let's set up a time to chat. See if you're a good fit for the program, right? So I'll kind of just be asking a bunch of questions, really just kind of seeing where you're at right now, what your problems are, what your goals are, and why you can't get there. And if I think that we can help you, if I think that we can actually help you solve those problems and get to your desired state, then I'll make you an offer and we can get started on the call. If not, totally cool. But yeah, anyways, if this was a valuable video and you actually are serious about growing your business, booking a call down below. Hit the like button, hit subscribe, and comment down below if you guys want me to make a video on another topic too, or if you have any questions, or just if this was valuable. But anyways, guys, before I wrap this up, I will say go follow me on Instagram, Jeremy_Pogue, and that's a great way to ask questions and just kind of let me know what other videos you guys want to see. So other than that, guys, hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you in the next one.